So what you're doing here, you're literally singing through your body. And I'm just humming it because I want to keep the sound in my body, okay, at the moment, because once I keep a sound in the body, the energy can project out from there. It's like an inward action working outwards. If that makes any sense. So that's how you're using your gut to basically connect with the magnetism of all nature. And then once you're connected in on that, you can start to rearrange your body again. And when you basically sing straight from that magnetism without any thought whatsoever, without any thinking, but just using it, making the conscious choice to make your mind a processor, to make this the student and this the teacher, and then you're working together to get the student to sort of like the same master level as the teacher, okay, to the beginning plateau, kindergarten, to the final level of self-mastery of sort of working up all the interconnect, stages and plateaus that you have in between those development stages of working out different ways of centering through all your omnisensibilities, in the sense of you're not using just your senses in a mono sort of way, you're doing it in a sort of an omni way. So you're sort of using all of your senses with every sense to see all of life and to be able to see into the interconnectivity that's infinite of all of it. And you just keep on getting more vast and vast, but you've got to have a simple structure so it can sort of not get in the way of itself, but still be able to go anywhere, just not get in the way of itself and be just a total flowing pattern that's rhythmic and musical. And we feel energy and sound and music together, okay? So you've got to have all of that down in the one language. They're the core soul essences, okay? So, of the source, okay, we've got the solar sun up there. Now they say it's a thermal hot sun, but it can't be a thermal hot sun, otherwise it'd be just too hot out in space. They even say themselves that space is cold out there. So there's reports even, for as good as all the stage show is for that. But they do have a real one going on. And they're sort of like trying to mine out the real astral to make more of their sort of fake astral. So they just keep on using up too much space and just making too much crap, like all that crap you see now. So that's basically these brutal fucking idiots blowing their load everywhere and shit stains all over the omniverse, thinking, we can just create that, and they're just mixing things up like a, Mad Hatter's party. Seriously, like they're the fluke artists. They're just going, try this, and this, and then they eventually flick one together and go, look what we got here. If we put this toxic thing with this good thing, we can put it on the good thing level, and then fuck everybody, like with the graphene oxide. We'll call it electrostatic, make it something that's electric. I'm down on a magnetic level, but something to be there, but that'll be the bridge. So they're slippery little fuckers. They interdimensionally, alchemically get through fucking everything. So that's why alchemy, in the original, how you'd understand it as a magyar, the alchemy is spying from beneath, from beneath, below. And Chem is spying in magyar originally. That's not to take anything away from the Kemet people, but that's where the root of that sound comes from. But everything's just been, man, they fucked everything up. We're looking at everything all fucking wrong. And the first man who I heard say it the right way, I don't care where they're from, whoever's talking from there and get it right, the magnetism just goes boing. Okay, I'm listening to that because that's what that reckons too. Exactly like how that guy said. And I remember Hakim Bey talking about plants, medicine plants, and going up to plants in general, connecting with them first and telling you got this problem and you need to fix this person and I need some of that for that. And if you connect with the plant right and connect with that, but yeah, cool for that, yeah, and that's going to help the rest of nature when that person sort of heals, then their aspect of nature is going to get looked after better. So, and sometimes a plant, if you get familiar with it, it'll tell you other plants. Oh, maybe it'll just tell you. Like you'll just know to go to that plant. Yeah, I'll need a bit of that right now. So you're not being a random idiot. You're literally going where the magnetism is taking you. But you've got to get your physicality in line with that. And they've sort of butchered around with our genetics. But we can fix all of that. So you just got to reorganise pathways and things. And when you turn this into a processor, this starts working much more infinitely faster than it could before, just with like a ghetto blaster, compared to like Omni, and you're in the centre of the Omni, and you've got all this everything going in and out everywhere, but it's just all joyful, and it's not like bliss in the sense of like a junkie bliss, but you're actually just so present and focused, and you're finally relaxed going, I'm just feeling the magnetism again, so I'm just reorganising the information according to the magnetism and not just purely on what I see. Because if I'm fucking soul blind down here with the magnetism, what I see up here is really limited, even right in front of me. Because what you see is not just what you see, it's what you're conscious of when you listen to sound, okay? You're not just hearing. Hearing becomes the fourth level of senses if you're just hearing without listening. That's why everyone needs to learn music properly, and then all the rest of the sciences after that just flow. Because music ties it all together. So everyone's meant to be a musician. Everyone's got musical ability. But when people get told when they're young, oh shit, you should never play music or you just don't get it. No, the information wasn't delivered to you in the right way for you to comprehend it for the way you particularly are as a human being. Because not everyone's the same. We have similar characteristics in our fundamentals, but after that, we're our own expression of knowing the same basic foundation fundamental principles of life, so we don't fuck up life, but we keep it so simple that we have all that vastness and space in between when we respect that moment, spontaneous moment, in any present moment of now. Well, then it's going to respect us back too. But we got the vastness to feel that distance, a feeling that goes so deep. Like as I said, I got a soul before. I don't know if I said it here, but maybe I said it to myself. I got a soul that goes beneath the ocean floor. And I'm not fucking joking. But that's the way it is. I'm just that old. So I've got experience with that. That's all. Doesn't make me any better than anyone else. I just got more fucking responsibility. So I'm a whole cunt. I'm a good cunt. And us, original mothers, just means core seed family of all fucking peoples. That's it. Of all tribes. That's all it means. Simple definition. Doesn't define your race, your nationality. Yes, no. We've all got different nature aspects in how our soul shapes our genetics. If your soul's always magnetically and electrically connected to everything, we're missing the nitrogen at the moment. That stops us from going. But I'm not going to go into that for the moment because we're just looking at everything all wrong. We've got to look at things. Now, how's this? The original reptilians were never a fucking problem. They were born, okay, by these cat and dog mutants. They were the original fucking renegades that fell from grace from the original ancient world of sea that is called lightt. And the reason why that went down, I'm going to keep it brief, was endocrine disruption. A couple of children decided, no, I'm just going to do this anyway. For no reason, because there was no trauma. there was transparency in your own soul. You had the parents that basically told them, well, this is how life is. But with some things in life, we were really strict, because if you fuck that up, it fucks it up for everything. And it just, to fix is going to take ages, potentially, if, depending on the damage done. And so that's what the first trauma caused. It was all through endocrine disruption. Because what I mean by endocrine disruption, it just biologically, it turns you inside out, basically, in the sense of how you feel, how you pick up magnetism and electricity, and like you're working in opposites. So it's like self-destructive. But at the same time, you can propel that energy of the self-destruction into doing good things for things that you just want to do, but they're not necessarily things that are like in line with nature, in the sense of it's so fiction that it's just creating more sort of toxic sort of distortion and infection. And eventually that turns into a weaponized virus, the way these people are. And because they weaponize their pain to avoid this, okay? To avoid ever having to admit that they were fucking wrong in the first place. So they actually know better, because then they're fucking brilliant actors. The top people that have been pulling the strings, master string pullers of this world, they're master actors, and they can just jump into whatever skin suit they want. This is a cartoon skin suit compared to what we were at first, Homo sapiens. But that's them. They've been butchering us. Like farming you sea cattle, pharmaceuticals, yeah. Because we can and we will. And until you know the laws of magnetism, electricity, and the natural science again, well, you're not going to stop us. We're going to give you all this pious fucking holy shit to get you all emotive and addicted to our reactive energy drama that we love. That's why we're so sadistic, because we love the fear, because it makes the meat and the blood taste better. Like, this is just like, this is the banal fucking shit. But when we do the low-end stuff, it's warm. It sounds round, it's fat, it's wide, you know? So don't be fooled by appearances with your eyes until you actually know what the fuck you're doing with this. Because that's the thing, we haven't been taught to know ourselves first, to know how this circuitry works, so we know how the macrocosm of what this microcosm is. So that all works, because that's how creation works. You know, it's just almost like a Russian doll set, but there's no separation, in the sense of, it's not like the third eye astral where it's all separate dimensions of sort of artificial, unnatural colours, and black partition colours as well, helping the dimension separation. And unfortunately, all this head area has been manipulated for their sort of like Hollywood movie projector that they're using the Pineal for, to project on the third eye, which is their big Hollywood plasma, you know, movie screen that everyone's got in their fucking house now. And it's just like, they're just on the massive perv on everyone through all this. It's a combination of occult stuff, like dark occult stuff, what you'd know as dark occult stuff, but I just call it malign sorcery. But malign occult just means, you know, like hidden. Occult just means hidden. So that's what it is. It's an occult sort of science. That's what alchemy is about. And it fools a lot of people that that's the ascension path to becoming an ascended master. But no, the real path is actually becoming a real shaman or a magi, because within those sort of levels of things, you sort of learn about different aspects of doing things. And you do the shaman before the magi, because the magi's got a bigger responsibility in the sense of for the tribe. But then you've got different class of shamans and magi that go around to all the tribes and teach all of them, educate everyone, give everyone the updates or this or that, or if there's problems in this area, we're helping out because it's needed. So this is how we worked the earth. We're nature custodians, and by making this all just pristine all the time, we lived off the essences. So all the physicality was all us as well. So we're eating plants or rocks, we're being cannibals straight up, not just eating ourselves, but everything. These bastards just prefer the cannibal thing being us, because they're so perverted now that they have to do the most vile stuff just to get a kick anymore. And they don't even get a kick. And they don't even know what they do anymore, because the only aphrodisiac they got now is what they get still from power, having power. That's it. It's burnt out all their other senses in this body. Unless you know how to connect back to the magnetism again, you can't sort of regenerate this body. Or I should say bioregenerate is probably more of a term understood better here for an omni way of thinking. So if you want to heal this, make it omni. How do we make it omni instead of like really bad reverse polarized stereo? Because that's what Kabbalah is. You know, let's take out the Satanism, the Jewish, talk about energy. That's what Kabbalah is, okay? Okay, we know that Kabbalah means illusion, or drugs, or under hypnosis. You know, that's what it means. And when you go abracadabra, you're going image to image, photocopy. That's all it is. It's a really cheap and nasty, tacky photocopier. Scanner photocopy. Same shit. So I'm putting it as simple as possible so any person can understand it. And not person in the sense of a dead fiction person, but you know what I fucking mean. So you can hear my tone, my voice. And you know, and that's what it's about. It's hearing, seeing the tonality. How do you see the tonality? By feeling it down here. So your sound becomes primary down here when you know how to listen. Knowing how to listen is the same as knowing how to paint pictures with invisible sound. That's an occult skill. Because when you're seeing sound, you're seeing into the invisible. You literally are. That's why musicians are essentially magicians. What you know as magicians, because once you know how to tie the music up with the energy and the shapes of the sounds and like the linguistics, because all life is in linguistics, so you've got to know linguistics, like in the sense of all forms of communication. It all starts with self-feel, that's the fastest, because that's a delivery system of source consciousness. So all that interconnected aspects of nature can communicate with itself like instantly, bang. It has to, before sound and light creation can actually occur. And you want that all to happen really smoothly and spontaneously. So that's what we're capable of. That is what Alex Collier talks about, our true potential. He's a good soul, but he's been fooled and tricked like every fucking one. And we're all battling through to just go, fuck, sick of this fucking bullshit. Stop holding us up. Well, it's all here. It's simple. And once you understand that simple structure, fuck, there's so much vastness and detail, you know, and depth of sort of feeling in what you essentially experience in like a feeling way, a smell way, a taste way, a textural way, a wavature way. It's like there's so many ways you can express. Like they'd say skin a cat, but I don't really want to use phrases of harm all the time unless I'm taking the piss out of them. I'm using their bumbush to do it. Why not? Look what they did to our fucking language. They turned it into that, using confusion of the tongues and Kabbalah. And they used the Black King to create it all. But who was the soul in the skin suit though at the time? That's what people don't know in the soul genetics. These fuckers, they're so slippery in what they hold back from us. Because that's why knowledge is power. Once you got that truth back, they can't fuck with it. Once you know your essence before this stupid name game, sort of slave ID, it's basically like an abattoir genetic catalogue about, okay, we've got a bit of that, and that. Okay, let's mix it with a bit of fucking PVC and a bit of that industrial sort of waste over there. And then we'll put some sort of fake donkey over there and grab a monkey and we're going to shove it into this and we're going to get them to do this. Now, you don't get more of an abomination of natural law than that, in the sense of you're breaking the one most basic But most strictest rule that has to be, that keeps the whole thing together, if everyone is mindful, soulful, heartful of, is to always make sure you do no harm, in the sense of the way that you think, you consciously act in life. You're always looking for ways to do things without doing harm to stuff, without being a fuckwit, an idiot, being stupid in the sense of self-destructive, you know. Like, okay, they're coding words in English, and they designed them to be that way because endocrine disrupted people designed the language and put it together. But this sick little humour between themselves, bunch of, you know, priests, they're all going, ha 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 ha, this is what it really means between us having a little joking. But all of them, 7 billion plus, have no fucking idea that that sound is connected to this part of the magnetism. It basically is connected to this part of nature that affects this and this and this. And so they get us to basically give away our energy with religious and education, scriptures and things and spiritual stuff that trick us into giving our energy away so they can live off the fat of the land with all their rubbish dumps of sort of, you know, God, demon, Draco, reptoid pieces. Well, they're rubbish dumpsters because they're basically like the concentrated form of the rubbish decorators, which are the hybrids on the human level in the sense of those genetics. See, basically what's been going on, the people who got endocrine disrupted when they clear fish banks. Okay, by the way, everything was always physical and non-physical. It was never not otherwise. And this thing that we came from nothing and go back to nothing, no, that's bullshit. The nothing part of us, yeah, it's always there. But the physicality's always been here too. And this is where they've gotten people sort of out in the woo-woo to out there. Because that pineal, yeah, it's an ultra high frequency antenna. And there's some people that can really get up there with that stuff. It's not meant to be in your fucking head. It's meant to be here. Well, look at that. That fez up there. See the little thing on top? Yeah, pineal is a small little pinhole thing. Okay? That's what it's meant to be. And how many more know that now? Still. They've fucked all of us. Doesn't matter what religion, just get rid of all of that. Look at it in energy. Because when I talk about religion and spirituality, the errors, I'm getting at the people that made it that way. I'm letting you know how they're fucking you over. Because I've got nothing against any of the fucking people. But when you just look at them, most people are just good people, want to get on in life and be happy and normal stuff. But I'm not talking about like cheesy sort of Von Trapp sort of happy, which is not like a Swifrost or a Habsburg sort of blend sort of thing going on where they're taking the piss out of, like, this is what it's like to be square and wholesome. It's boring. They're repressed. They don't have good sex lives because we made it that way. Because, sorry, all the doctrines I gave you in the beginning to religion and everything. And that's right, that part of quantic science, but it's like everything's been fucked with. So you literally got to pick fucking crumbs out of everywhere because that's what they've done. They've literally got a whole bat. Imagine our whole reality, you know. It's like a part of it, like there's this big pineapple and they decide to mince and shred it all. And then throw it all across the Earth's surface. Everyone, like, in the intellectual information that we're given to different quotients of people with different capabilities that have been through different genetic paths. Because these people have literally fucked with us. And in the last 108 years, as fucking nuts as this is going to sound, but this is what they base all the science fiction on. The people pay a fucking fortune to want Netflix. It's just a continuation of the movies. It's like, man, they're basing all this stuff on shit they're doing, or they've already done, or still doing, you know. But still doing stuff is, see, they're getting closed down. There's a war going on for ages, like in particular the last 3 years that I've been in the middle of, whether I fucking like it or not. I had to wake up to this, whether I liked it or not. Many times in my life, because I've been memory wiped so many times that I keep on having to relearn stuff all over again. And every time I relearn stuff, same with past lives, depending on which movie set location they're picking, you know, for the next season, episodes of their movie takes and trying to get their fucking new perverted script over the line with their new. They've got the same actors, but they've got different actors' names and different genetic costumes on. It's a wardrobe change. And right throughout every culture, you see this Inky and Lil, sort of Charlie Jade, Owen Boxer thing, like for going on. Like, how can creation come down to two guys? It's like, hold it. Whoa. At least Adam and Eve is sort of, there's a man and a woman there, but even they're fucking taking the piss out of that. It was Ava, the original way, an older dialect, say, here in Australia. We say never had the E vowel. They just sharpened up the whole language just to fuck things up in the UK. I'm pretty sure they did that when they created the Phoenician thing that basically became sort of in line with the Hebrew alphabet with the 22 symbols. They added an extra E to basically, well, maybe they did it when they created the Hebrew alphabet. They're pretty similar on a part. It's hard to say the time thing because these movies set locations. So they've got time travel thing. In the blink of an eye, they can go from one era to another, like literally from one movie set location to another, because once you understand that time and space is a fictional construct, which you can actually manipulate it and edit it, like this thing that I've just basically hit one button here just to talk. Well, I can put it into a software machine if I want and start multi-tracking all sorts of shit going on. So I can edit a big professional Smith production if I want. And you can make any story seem fucking 100% real as you like. And that's how TV works. We've packaged that shit fucking decades in advance. All your news stories, what shit's going on. To the point that they don't know what's going to happen every day because everything's just programmed as clockwork. I'm not joking. That's why you've got clockwork. That's artificial time as well. Because time is artificial, really. Sometimes you can use the word in English language in a way that you're not sort of expressing time in the usual sort of sense, because we come from a timeless existence where we're never in a fucking hurry to do anything. We just do things properly. When you get the basics right straight up and you actually comprehend and understand the natural law of how things actually fucking work, that's the only understanding you need to be under the natural law, which is literally the history and knowledge of everything. That's all it means. Just keep it simple. Once you understand that and how all the forces of nature works, I don't like to use that word forces much because they like it as an aggressive thing. But how the elements actually project and attract and move in the right ordered sequence of how core creation fundamentals work and then extend out in all levels. Sure, you've got unseen to seen levels, but that doesn't mean that comes first and that comes second. No. They're working both ways. It's working omni. It's like everything's an equal aspect, whether it's seen or unseen. It's that simple. So let's keep it that simple. And yeah, I'm going to take the piss out of a lot of fucking mistakes. I have to. It's the only way I can get through it at times. Because I've been through some pretty fucking hardcore shit myself. I don't really want to pay too much attention to at times because I'd rather just get on with the job of fucking fixing the mess. Because why? I'm okay and I can. I'm still pissed off. But I'm fucking more capable than these fuckwits. I fucking put the shit together because all I got to do is remember what I used to do to the full extent. I'm sort of back at first grade at the moment. It took me like my life just to get here. I'm going to achieve almost the impossible. And now I'm here. It's fucking heaps what to do. But once everyone knows this stuff, I'm telling you, there's no going back. Why would you? That's the thing. No one's experienced it for so long. And it's like, these cunts knew this would happen. That if I actually succeeded, I'd be so far ahead of everyone. I would turn into this fucking stupid messiah fucking bullshit they want. And then try, but what they were thinking, they thought that they could turn me into the Antichrist, into like a Lucifer, like literally be, okay, if we do turn him into an inky, maybe we'll make incubi after all or something. Like, they're always looking at plan B options of like how they can fit the script and make it work anyway and just get their fucking power over the line. Okay, they bought the story, let's go, we're done. You know, we've made a monster at the box office. And that's the thing in Hollywood, they always make it that the good guys win. Like in real life. It's the other way around. It's a criminal system run by criminals. So you've got to learn how to get inside the criminal mindset to the fullest extent to work out how to fucking be a bully's worst fucking nightmare without being like them. Necessarily so. But the ability to deal with such when required. It takes an incredible discipline of not abusing any power in the sense of nature will let me do a little bit at times, but if I do too much, nature's going to go, no. That's not how it's done. It's like you pass the limit. Straight up. No bullshitting around it. And you respect it because you're pushing the boundaries. And it's like, you feel it. You're going, you're right. Like the last few days, I'm sort of going, like I haven't got my usual sort of full connection. I'm connected. But then I realise, no, sometimes I've got to step back for a bit and feel what everyone else is feeling. I feel the pain again. And remind myself, am I doing the right thing for the right reasons? I'm always checking myself. Okay, and then I go back to this. Fucking everything feels right again. Why? Just because I'm in magnetic and electrical balance with all the elements. That's it. That's all we all need to be to get. These fuckers decided to keep that information for themselves. It was right under our fucking noses. So they had to work out 1,500 years a way to devise a plan that they could just move our focus just gradually, like for so long. Just take us around in fucking treasure hunts all over the earth looking for externalised technology that it's actually modelled off us. So why are we looking for shit that's already inside us? Sure, it can do fucking amazing shit. And if you use it the right conscionable way, it can do great stuff. But the problem is with external technology, as soon as it falls into the wrong hands, that's it. You've got a fucking jackass at the wheel. Now these jackasses at the wheel, they've gotten more demented. Fucked up as it goes. That's why they need AI to run everything. And it's like their offspring can only really maintain what their sort of great-grandfathers sort of actually, they're the ones that put it all together, so to speak. I'm just talking in a generalised term, in the modern sort of era anyway. But that's the thing, by them dumbing down the world, they've dumbed down themselves as well. Like, to such a point that them coming out of the closet now is so, I think it's even more degenerate than their grandfathers were. Like, they've stepped it up to a new level of degeneracy. Like, the way they sort of get into ice and shit and all that sort of stuff you see on the streets and stuff, well, yeah, they're all doing it as well. But the real smart ones are keeping it together when they have to. But when these guys like to binge, oh yeah, I love hanging out in a rubbish dumpster for a few days. You know, getting the juju out of the rubbish dumpster. Fucking hell. But this is what I've had to deal with. This is the insanity I've had to deal with. Some people might say, oh, he's fucking insane, he's been fucking cuckoo for years or this or that. No. There's nothing wrong in being free in yourself. You shouldn't magnetically and electrically connected think everything more naturally than others just because you're an older soul. There's a lot of others around you who are actually split off you. But they've been split off you illegally to basically create new life so they can fuck around with it. Play another game of death in another way. They just keep on playing toy soldiers, making bets with each other like little children. And they just never grow up. They just get sort of baby adult toys that just become so dangerous. It's just like, you've got this nutcase sort of pre-tired daycare supervision candidate who wants to graduate to being a fetus on a wheel, an eternal folded loop, insanity loop, feedback. It's so sadomasochistically torturous, because at the end of the day, by the time they brutalise and obliterate everything in their path, shit staining everything on their way everywhere, they just drag their asses along. It's like, by the time they got fully what they want, they've destroyed it all anyway. So their whole sense of winning is actually losing. That's what the endocrine disruption does. It just fucks up the biology. You're biologically insane. You're not just mentally insane, you're biologically insane. So why isn't that a psychiatric disorder? It's worse than mental. The only thing they've got in them that's worth anything when they're that biologically insane is the soul. Not their property really anymore then, but you know what? We kind of go, well, this is how the natural science works. The best outcome would be permanent disinfectation, okay, until the job is done. Steam cleaning, disinfecting. And you know what? In this day and age now, until we get things back into place, you know what being royal is really about? It's about being a cleaner. I'm serious. If you know how to clean properly, like in an organic way with nature, and using ingredients that don't fuck up things and chemicals that just like they program people to basically put all these poisons in their house, whether it be their furniture, textiles, materials, or things they wash up with, or put in their hair, or on their teeth, or, oh man, just because it's a gimmick on TV, oh yeah, that's going to make me feel good, it's going to give me a cheap little hit, little heart hit. You've got to be careful of what you let into your heart. That's sacred. That is truly sacred in there, in the sense of, you don't want rubbish coming in and out of there every day. Like, look at the attrition rate. And then when people have reactive sort of arguments, they're programmed to be that way. See, that reactive energy is step-down energy. That's more electrical, but it's reverse polarized, okay? So it's either too much to the sort of the positive side or too much to the negative side. You could say like the feminine or the masculine side in the sense of the yin-yang. Well, the only way to heal the duality is to meet at the equinox point. It's just the logical place you go. You've got to hold the balance, but hold it. Original reality in Omni wasn't about holding the balance together. Yeah, that can work. I've been there. You know, it's not enough. Stay there the whole time. No, it's not good enough. Because then you've got to keep the polarity, not reverse polarised. And these cunts want to be reverse polarised all the time. So you're fighting their reverse polarisation constantly to go just to a normal duality. No, that's not enough. Because we're not in duality. When you're centred, there is no duality. You're all of it. You're still your biological, physical thing, because in the physical, there has to be separation in physicality. Because when you bring that physicality together, bang, it's that explosive that affects every, like what you know as dimension, sort of, of existence, every level. It's actually every omni realm, you know, infinite world, medicine well, musical instrument keys. It's like acupressure points. It's like everything that's on your body, it's up there too. In every sense. And once you know those fundamentals, and you know that, oh, when you read the stars, okay, now on this portion of Earth that we're on now, what is it? We've got the Andromedan, Pleiades, and sort of Milky Way. They're the main three that we got sort of view to most of the time, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I forget names and shit all the time because I already know it all, just because I already know it all. Like, I literally know what I'm doing when I don't know what I'm doing, when I'm just feeling it. Because feel used to be the currency in the sense of the main language. It's the core language because it is. If you look at magnetic charge, that's what it starts with. They try to say that you come from an electrical universe. No, they want it to be you to think it like that because they want to give you to give energy to all your electrical parts. Okay? Like to give them the energy there. If you keep your energy here, you keep sending it there. No, they can't pimp off that. If you're operating from here, this is too pure for them, so they can't bother you here. They'll leave you alone when you're here. In fact, they're scared of you from when you're here. There's nothing more powerful than the magnet that's here. So that's all love is, magnetism. We respect it. Like through respecting that and saying, wow, this is powerful stuff. It's like you got to treat it with care. Because if you don't treat that magnetism with care, well, yeah, you're going to do some pretty fucked up shit. So, well, once you get it, that magnetism is automatic. It's effortless. So you just don't sort of rock the boat. You don't poke people in the ribs when you're trying to conduct an orchestra of birds in nature. It's like you got these little fucking South Park shits going, hey, let's throw some shit at him, hey. I don't even watch TV. I'm just making the shit up as I go. Look, sure, I've seen that shit before, but it's like, it's so banal. It's like, sure, there's a couple of funny things here and there, but it's like, to just base your whole mentality over that over and over again, it's just, at least you fold the loop insanity. And what's that? A woman is the loop, like an egg or a fish egg. It's a womanly shape. And fold a circle into a fake infinity sign that they call, one of those cunts. It's like an 8 as well. Not many people sort of go, well, hold it, isn't this the same sort of shit, but it's over here and might mean something different over here. But it's the same thing though. Hold it. It's the same thing but doing something different. Of the same thing. A different aspect of that fucked upness. That's torturing a woman, folding a circle. So it's like, once you get their occult language, their little secret little, that's their little code thing. This is how the world has been ruled. And all their Freemasons, they all get different sort of coded messages on all their different degree levels because they just get more confused at different levels because that's how it works for the ones at the top, to decompartmentalise everything, like down to the bottom. So they're all order followers. There's one way to bring that down easier. And that's what us Magyar do. You look at the whole structure for long enough. You look at the viability of it. It's just the foundations here. Is this going to stay up? Is it got the right foundations? And then you go, okay, yeah, it's got the most part, but here and here, no. It's got to be looked at a little bit further here. What's going on here? They've given themselves a little loophole here so they can go and fucking trick around. But they've kept that from everyone else. And just that one couple of little subtleties has enabled them this sort of gold mine of extra conscious knowing that's like allows them to be there while everyone's like, whoa. Some things in life are like that simple, but that vast in what they could mean, in the sense of you realise something and you go, fuck, I could be feeling about this for the next month actually. Whoa. Yeah. And when I mean thinking, I mean processing. I'm not actually thinking. Because I'm using my brain to process what's coming up from here. Like some people used to say to me years and years ago, you're so mental. And no, I'm just processing a lot of stuff coming up and I can't fully explain it to you people. You want to get it, but then when you're told it, you don't want to get it. It seems so facile and simple because you've just been doing shit too complicated, too wrong because you've just accepted this intellectual colonised language you've been given since birth. And as humans, we just like to trust and love that we're given the truth and looked after. So they've programmed us all to be dysfunctional and to never grow up properly, but still sort of have the impression that, yeah, we just do our best, we're only human, and that's it. They just keep us in this slave mentality without even realising. But you are your own dog. You're your own best friend. Once you're your own best friend, okay, well, that's what a dog is. He's a good soul totem spirit aspect of you. That animal is a part of you, your physicality. This is how this whole form came to be. All of these animals combined to make this. That's why we're the controllers. So they can operate freely out there. We can coordinate it all from here so they can all do their thing. Now they know what to do, but when we give them the music to do it with, oh fuck, they're having a ball. So are we. We're partying hard. It feels so fucking good. But it's what's done to make creation work. It's great. There's nothing wrong with it. Now these people running the world, they're so jealous of it because for them to be the way they are, they can't experience what it is to be like this again. Because otherwise that means, we've got to heal and be like them, and we'll just be too lowly for too long that they'll just think in their sort of toxic, like a junkie detoxing. He's just thinking in that state. He's going through such toxic hell. No, I just can't do it, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. And so they're really weak. They're like really weak junkies in that sense. They can't go the whole way. It's not to say that some of them haven't achieved some amazing things just from having that liberality, that there's sort of like 8-9 people that have the edge over apparently it's 7 billion plus, but maybe on all the split timelines, but maybe not this one. I was saying that years ago, but as usual, I need to look back at things before. But when you're magnetised and electrified in the right way with nature, because you're in sync with it, information's just going to come to you about stuff. Because your sensibility is just so fine-tuned into nature, you can literally feel what's going on. So that feel has actually got more power in knowing than what these eyes have got, in the way that things have been manipulated up here. Now, we can fix all this. That's no problem. But you just need to know that for now. They've turned everything upside down. To say, yeah, this is the boss. But they want... See, they're the boss of this sort of Hollywood movie screen and projector. It's in the pineapple. But that pineapple should be there. You see it on the Pope's head stuff. Teletubbies. There's this other one. I used to see this cartoon when I was younger. I used to look at it all the time and go, oh, I know that. And that's the thing, it triggers all this stuff in children because children are so fresh. Your memories are better of your past lives when you're a young child. I remember. I actually knew a lot of this stuff as a very young child just because I was so fresh to it. And I look at adults and I could understand what they're saying. Like I could pick up the language quick, but I just couldn't talk it like that. As you're a very young child, but I was quick in picking stuff up. But I could read their body language anyway. I could hear the tone of voice where they'd be lying through here or talking the truth consistently down here. And having a bit of movement between here and here because that's instinct and intuition. And the intuition gives the instinct a little bit more shape, okay? But it can all be done from here. You can do both. That's the thing. There's no limit to sort of the things that you can try out. As long as you're grounded here first in your power source, your on-off switch, just look at a simple thing. As long as you switch on here and not here first, then you're good. And to run here, you can't be sort of an ill-intentioned person. Now, this is the thing about the people running the world, the very top ones. They knew. It's kind of a weird juxtaposition to endocrine disruption. It's like if they have to act the part of someone who's a great charismatic person that seems like a great beneficiary or philanthropist of life, which they do play that role to the public, but what they're doing is mastering both ends of the duality. You know, they're getting you at both ends. We're controlling you here, yeah, we'll make ourselves look good and put our names on plaques on buildings and do all the things that it takes to lobby up all the political support, as long as we're basically in control of the propaganda for it on the TV and the media. Yeah, it's all going to work. It's an industry. It's a business for them. It's organised crime. And it really comes down to all of it. It all is a stage show. And they laugh at you all the time, sadistically. They laugh at us. And with me, they've taken the piss out of me, like, so much stuff. Like, I don't pay attention to half of it because it's so puerile. But that's how hung up they are on me. Why is that? I'll let you decide. But, yeah. And because of me and my family, the best way to get to me is to turn my family against me. That's so much fun for them. And then they put bets on which one of my family might have the, they'll put a bet, oh yeah, he might do it against him. So they'll get all my family to fight with me. Initially they'll sort of get me bonded with them and then they'll turn it against me. And then there's many ways they can skin a cat doing that as well, in the angles they choose to send someone into your life and then sort of at a certain point flick the switch and go, okay. This is what you're dealing with. I've gotten inside the way that they think. And they're psychopathic. They're sociopathic. They're murderous. Doesn't mean that I be that. But I get it. Why? I can get just inside them under their rug with the magnetism as they can when they look into my blood like a vampire. Why? Half my genetics are theirs, and they're bloodline collectors too. But funnily enough, I got some of my bloodlines from them as well. But really, when you look at it, my mother came from their side. My father came from the right side, so to speak, in the way that they were sort of manipulating things. They were using my mum as a handler for my father and me and my brother. Now, it's an MK Ultra controlled family, highly controlled family, but it's done so subtly from the shadows that I'm pretty sure that my mother was the only one that had a clue. And as for my father, I can't comment on that at the moment, at this particular time, because I don't feel at liberty to, because that gets into a complicated situation, because these people have fucked with us so much in so many different ways. I just want to keep sort of calm for the moment because I'm going to go to bed soon anyway. But I just thought, I was actually going to do more music, but I've ended up talking my head off. Sorry. But I'll get to more of that. But we need to understand, or comprehend rather, for not understanding of anything they fucking do. They're just flesh and blood just like us. If they're mismanaging things, well, they know that, like, to be a gentleman, yeah, you put your women and children first. You look after them. You be responsible of all those things. But why? Because you love them. Because it's just natural. It's just great, yeah. Awesome. You're compatible, or sort of natural magnetism in the sense of, okay, cool. That's how things should be. But what these people have done is, through them sort of hybriding and washing all of our tribes out, all the different colours of them, that basically just match the environment that those people were working in at the time. And they go to another environment, it all changes again. Not like necessarily in an instant, but that's how adaptable and reasonably fast the actual manifestation of when we had the environment correct. And they weren't sucking all the orgone out of the environment with their 0-point death energy. But they made people think, oh no, this is the free energy, and they'll just lie about it. But what they're really doing is turning it into their death energy that's like, no. And it's sucking it out of nature. And see, this is the thing, when you've got a parasite out of control, if it's that out of control and not stopped, okay, it's eventually going to eat up all of the host, and then it's got nothing, and it self-destructs because it implodes on itself, you know. And they hit that critical point about 3 years ago. So when I had to have a fucking year off last year, I was spewing because it was already at critical stage, but they worked out how to poison me again. But that's okay. Took a shorter time to come back this time, and go further. But there's more to go. Hasn't stopped yet, but we need to comprehend. We need to understand the language of this magnetism and the electricity. Now you've got to look after that magnetism first, and that's much easier to sort out the electricity and then find all the crystals that match with the right stones, the phosphates and the sulfates, that carry all the spirit and the soul information, okay? And that's both, okay? Soul information from nature is from the phosphates in non-hybrid plants and all related sort of elements and things in nature that are related along those lines to the finest detail. And then the phosphates are the spirit information, electricity for your body cells. And so they're your best sources of getting real charge at the moment. Now, whether you eat plant or meats now makes no difference. If either has been looked after properly and is not traumatized, well, that's great. But even vegetables, some of the hybrid stuff, even that's growing pretty, you know what I'm saying. It's like anything. You make it with love, like you do it properly, you look after it, it works. It's good. So, getting us to be hurry like them all the time, because they just want their fucking vacuum pump to go down every month and take all of our money after we've been running down and using up all our energy, and then they take all of our energy to manifest their Star Wars fucking poofter parade up in their fake space and planets and extend that even further. And look, you look at Star Wars, the Jedi are like a Uberman, one of the Ubermen sort of the Atlantean period where the Germans and the Nordics were basically born in the Temple of Set, and it was just another way for them to make a hybrid of us, slice off more souls. Okay, after they massacred a whole heap of us or something. I don't even want to go there, but this is how fucked it gets. They worked out a way of slicing off more souls of us, so let's create these ones, then work as new chess pieces against them, and we'll have some more fun and place some more bets. So this is what endocrine disruption does. This is what it did to a couple of the first children when we were fish beings, cetacean-like fish beings, you know. Just for the sake of this language, it's a reasonable definition, but it goes more vast than that. Because we had a lot of aspects to us. And we didn't need to eat because we lived off the essences of nature. It's in like the water and the air. Okay? And that's the body, that's the feminine. Okay? She gives life. She gives birth. So she's more in connection with that aspect of nature, so she's more powerful in that energetic sort of magyar domain. You know, us men could never, well, we shouldn't say never have the potential, but they're just naturally built, you know, better than us for that way. We're built differently for more sort of robust strength. However, we still got to know all their stuff, because there's some men that work better supporting women roles and vice versa. And then there's some that are good at both. It depends on your level of self-mastery in how long you've been doing what you're doing. It's not just about how long you're doing it. The conscious way you're looking at things, so you can pick up new stuff really quickly because you're always developing the way that you're approaching your student questions for your teacher. Well, eventually you get it all down here because the student just loves being down here all the time too. So it depends what you're doing. Like, we're living in a crazy world still at the moment that's sorting itself out. Anyway, have fun.